What's up, college football fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with the Mean Green Show. And remember, if you're a fan of college football recruiting, G5 football, and of course the transfer portal, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Joined here today with Myles from the UNT6. And, Myles, how you been, man? It's been a while.
It's been a while, but I'm doing good. A little disappointed from the last weekend for North Texas basketball, but there's always tomorrow. There's always the tournament.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. So
Yeah.
I'm doing okay.
Okay, good, man. I'm glad to hear it. I know we and especially basketball, you take those losses pretty hard, and it's never easy, but it's a new day, and kind of shifting gears back over to football. So week one of spring is in the books, and just kind of you know talk about what we've heard on the forums and all that, the UNT dark web, if you will, and kind of just break down what's going on. I want to hear your take on a few things, and just try, I guess teeing it off with our secondary, man. And man, I do this all the time, but it is what it is. I always get myself hyped, and they were talking about it on I guess I forget, the Mean Green Nation, about how everybody's undefeated in the
Mhm.
spring, and I think it's Mean Green Nation or meangreen.com. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
the
where they're.
forum
Yeah.
board, the forum board.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
Mean
Yes.
Green
And
Nation is the website.
yeah, always get them mixed up. But yeah, like they were saying, we're all undefeated in the spring, and I'm definitely starting to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. And diving into that, our secondary, man, it seems like it's getting to a good spot. We got Gaddy, we got Upton Stout, we have all the transfers. It just seems like we got some really good guys in that secondary who are going to be able to plug in and go. And I'm feeling a lot better than I was last year. And what is your thoughts on the secondary? How are you feeling about that?
You can't get worse than last year. I just don't think you can get worse.
That's true.
You're bringing in a little bit more because Upton Stout was a true freshman last year. He didn't have any experience. They had to bring
Right.
in people like Lorenzo Thompson. They had to bring in
Mm,
another true freshman to start at cornerback in a bowl game. That's just really hard to do, and you just can't get worse. I always think that every year you can't get worse. And last year's defense was the worst. You can't get worse than the worst.
yeah.
You just can't. So I think they have a really bright future. And with Coach Holly, I mean, he's going to really help them. And I really expect high things out of Gaddy and Upton and even Michael Sanders, who's coming back. And I, I don't know about the transfers because, who knows what happens with them and how they
Hmm.
get in the depth chart because it's really early. It's still week 2. It's about to be week 2 of spring. So
Yeah.
you don't know a whole lot. But I hope it's a really fun battle, and we need that. We need the depth there. We have the depth there, I would say. I'm excited to see what they do here in the spring. I hope to get to see some action. Maybe a spring game or some scrimmages on the Saturdays. I just want to see them play, and I think they will be good. Not good, but
Yes.
they will be much improved.
Same here. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Phil Bennett's defense, and um, just kind of it's just kind of a maybe it's just that magical forefront that he's doing 4-2-5 or whatever that I've heard again through the forums and everything that it's people are liking what they're seeing or hearing from others or whatever. And the Murphy brothers, their name that just keeps to consistently come up, and I've that's exciting with it. So they're coming into year 3, right? They were redshirt
They're redshirt freshmen last year.
last
They
year.
they I guess they're still technically redshirt freshmen.
Yeah.
And college wise, they're probably juniors. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different
Yeah.
this year. But I mean, they're getting huge, and
Yeah.
I listened to Phil Bennett's interview. I saw on the forum board. I don't know who was it from, but it was an interview recently, and he was talking about how fast and strong and how much improved they've gotten since he got there on the day one. And they're really improving, and mainly those two guys, because they're going to be the most key people on the field. Because with the 4-2-5, you have 4 guys up front. Murphy's on both sides. They're going to be really dangerous, and one of them might not start. Who knows what happens? Because McRae might show up, or whoever wants to compete. Um, but they're going to be the 2 most valuable players, I think, in the Conference USA.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bold statement, and I'm not going to argue with you much there. Yeah, I think there's some real ballers, and I've heard Ani and Martin are doing very well, and that's I always like hearing that. As far as Ani specifically goes, just he came in super green and out of football for years, and got a lot of game reps, and I can't help but believe it. If nothing else, he's going to be tremendously, a solid step. Maybe I shouldn't say tremendously, but a solid step um, forward than he was last year due to all the the game live meaningful football reps that he received, and just and a lot of with the form everything he's hearing that he's looking really comfortable back there, knows what's going on and has his head on a swivel and everything, and also hearing a lot of good things about Cayston Martin, the one of the kind of a fan favorites, that Quinn Shinnebar 2.0, if you will, but hearing a lot of good things, about him as well. So that's exciting. If Martin can make a push up and make things a little interesting. So, what are your thoughts? Out of spring. Play a hypothetical game. Here we go. Let's say Ani's named the starter after spring. Do you think when Jace Ruder gets here, he cuts the line to second temporarily to battle it out with Ani? How do you think they handle that post
It's
spring?
Ani's to lose. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he just, in my opinion, I think it's his to lose because last year I think they took him out prematurely for some of those games. Middle Tennessee, he did really bad that game. Not gonna lie, he
Yeah.
did really bad, and he deserved to be benched.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the year against those better defenses that we did play, I thought he had the more of the experience and more of the knowledge to play, and it took away from his game experience that he could have had, and that in my opinion hurt him. But he is probably going to be even more advanced this coming year, and it's his to lose. I'd love to see Cayston Martin in the mix. I love seeing that because I remember 2018, he was dancing in the locker room. Now he's competing for the starting job. That's the best story you can possibly get.
Yeah. Yeah. He seems like a good kid, man. So
And Reuter, I mean, with him coming in, we don't know what will happen, but I would not be surprised if Ani just completely takes over the role and Reuter has to win it himself.
mhm,
I would not be surprised if that happens. I
yeah,
don't think he can just walk in with those two talented players and then just
yeah,
assume, not assume, but like try to take the role without actually like taking it physically from them. I feel like
yeah,
it's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna be really excited for fall
yeah.
camp. I'm already
Oh,
really excited for fall camp, and it's only spring. It's only
yeah.
week 2 of spring.
I know what you mean, man. And I don't want us to go too deep in right now because I know we're going to beat this dead horse many of times. But just a short answer: do you think we could potentially see a quarterback battle carrying into the early part of the season, maybe with Ani and Reuter? Like, I mean, do you think they'll have their guy for
I,
Northwestern State? They'll stick with them.
they should if they
I hope
I
so.
hated the two quarterback battle
Yeah.
last year. It was really really bad. It really messed
Hmm.
them both up because one day they have to be on their game. If they're not on their game, then they're getting benched. I
Hmm.
don't like that. I really
Yeah.
don't
No,
like
yeah.
that. And I know Jason Bean didn't take the pressure as well when he got hit pretty hard against SMU, and
Hmm.
you know then we know the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Tough. Yeah. It was a tough one. Okay. So shorter. I've heard he's reminding us all of just how great he can be. Coming off of that leg injury, and glad to hear that he's just not even football related, just able to move around and but as well as football related that he's balling again. And yeah, I've heard he's one of the main dudes on that wide receiver corps. So that's great to hear. And I also heard that they're playing around with Simpson and his versatility as far as playing him at really every position. Um, you know, at the wide receiver position. And I think that's great for him just with his skill set. I mean, I forget his height, but I think he's not like a shorter guy. And but he can really move around. He's really highly rated coming out of high school. And after Shorter went down, he was probably our number 2 guy last year, I feel like, behind obviously Jalen Darden. And
Mm-hmm.
so really excited to see what happens there. And I'm a fan of DeTravion Brown. Want to see what he can do. And one of the later names to mention is Lorenzo Thompson, man. Just back to receiver full time. He's just so twitchy. Well, what are your thoughts on Lorenzo? And what would you like to see from him out of this spring?
Well, I mean, he's not that big. He's not
Hmm.
like the biggest player. He's not the tallest player. He's not like Austin Gumikin. He's not like that. I would think we would see if we run a three receiver set. I would think we would see shorter on the outside, Simpson, and then Thompson in the middle. Because with
Hmm.
his speed and with you have two really good deep threats and Shorter and Simpson, that's dangerous. And I,
Hmm.
I would expect Thompson to be a 3-4 guy in the receiving rotation, in my opinion. I think he can definitely prove it. But there's other guys like the Travion Brown, who's also really fast. And even players maybe like Bryson Jackson, who's a little bit
Hmm.
taller. He's not really a slot guy. If they do run in the slot like they did with Jalen Darden. Um, but I'm really excited to see what he has to bring, because last year with him being at receiver and at defensive back later in the year, it's so hard. It's not high school anymore. We're in
Yeah.
college. You play one position, you don't play two.
Yeah.
I know that they had the depth problem last year, but I'm hoping to see him at wide receiver making great plays.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. And I think, obviously we lost a legend in Jalen Darden, but I, you know, can help but optimistically feel that we could still have a very good wide receiver room next year, and so that'll that'll be exciting. Uh, Man, Miles, anything else we need to touch on? I know it's just week 1 of spring, so there's not a ton of content to go over, but anything that we
Yeah,
missed?
I would say the fact that Mike Eckler is going to Tennessee
Yeah,
as special teams coordinator there. He's getting a 200,000. I think it was like around $200,000 increase there in the same position. I'm assuming maybe
yeah,
a little bit more a step down, but who knows? He's a great
yeah,
coach. He has a lot of energy. He really brought the energy. I just don't think he was the right fit here. It looked
yeah.
like he wasn't really as his sights were not set here. His sights were
Hmm.
set at the higher level,
Right.
and Coach Petrilli, if that's how you say his name, I'm not quite for sure. It's a little hard to say. I'm guessing it's Petrilli. Get
Yeah.
him a special teams coach right now. They said Brett Vito said sources. He's going to be the next. He's the main candidate. I hope he is, because he's really liked by, I would assume, by most of the players from what I've seen. I hope he's the new special teams coach, because last year there was problems in special teams. We all know, like the fake punt with
Mhm.
against SMU and all of that. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what whoever comes in has to bring to the table for special teams, because I want to get back to 2018 special teams.
Yeah.
The
Me
type the
too.
type of plays that we got from Biaggi, not the type of plays we got last year. Not
Yeah.
knocking on Mike Eckler,
Right.
but I'm excited to see what they have to bring, because there's a lot of players that can really be punt returner, kick returner, whoever they want.
Oh yeah, definitely. We got some real fast guys, in the secondary as well as the receiver side of things, and guys that may not even start, but that could really contribute, on special teams. So that'll be exciting to see how they plug those guys in. Um, well, cool, man. Anything else, man? I mean, I know it's you know still early, but
No, I don't think so. I'm just
yeah,
hoping everything goes well and nobody gets seriously injured and we have a good spring practice and that I get to go to something. I would like to see them practice, like
I
see
would
them play.
too.
Just open the gates, just let a few people
Open
in, let
them.
me in, let me in.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta do.
yeah. Do it. Yeah, exactly. Well, all right, guys. I mean, that's the state of the North, currently, and let us know what you think, in the comments below, if you agree or disagree or have any suggestions on things we talked about. And once again, Miles, thanks for coming on, and we'll collab soon.
Hmm